Okay. Hi, my name is Alana Baker, and today I'm going to be presenting on the Blue Mountain Peak Ranch. So, the Blue Mountain Peak Ranch is located in the Hill County of Mason, Texas, and it's about 832 acres large. The environmental problem is the overgrowth of plants, specifically the blueberry junipers, and the soil and water content in this area is not doing well at all. There's no nutrients in the soil or the water. So the people who bought this land was Richard Taylor and his partner Susan Paris, and their goal was to increase species diversity and put water into the aquifers. So on the slide you can see on the left, there's a map of Mason County, Texas. Okay, so where Blue Peak Ranch resides on the upper part of the map, where it's polka dotty. And then if you go to the key, you can look at the polka dots and you can see what their plant life's supposed to be. So in the top, the plant life is supposed to contain bastard oak, Texas red oak, and netleaf hickleberries, and then the Texas redbud. So these are all native plants to the area, which are not growing because it's so overtaken and dominated by the blueberry juniper plants that are all over the place. So this since the land is not containing enough nutrients and wildlife and plant diversity, not a lot of wildlife can live there or and will survive. So the deer population, which can eat grass and like about anything like small animals, like the deer population was growing because deer are already native to that land and the population started to grow. So the population started to decrease, and this is because the land was getting so overcrowded and not a lot of deer can survive there. That in 2002, on the end right of the map, you can see that the number of deer population per acre is lower there. So in this map, you can see that the green are does, which are female deer, and then you see that that dominates most of the population. The bucks, which are really good for meat and human resources, is a very small amount compared to the rest. And then you can see that there's fawns at the very top, and there's a lot of fawns. Okay, so the peer review article that I found was the Veliscare Flora of Mason Mountain Wildlife Management Area in Mason, Texas by Jason R. Stinghurst. So this is where I got the other previous map of Mason County. And you can see on this map of Mason County, it shows the type of foundation that the land has. So you can see in the top corner of the map where Blue Mountain Peak Ranch resides, that it's mostly Edward limestone. And this is composed of 7 formations: dolomite, granite, limestone, quartz, sand, sandstone, and shale. So this area, the foundations, wasn't a good foundation for plant life to start growing. So in this area, there are 693 native species for plants. And when they did this research in 1982, they only documented 59 of the 693 species, which is a very low number. So reasons that could have caused this were there were vernal pools all over the land, which are still water that has attracted mosquitoes, and everything that falls in the water or goes in the water, it stays there. So it's not good water at all, and it provides no nutrients to the soil. So in chapter 5 of our textbook for this class, it defines aquifers, which it defines as layers of, it's just the layers of the foundation. So an aquifer is the layer of the foundation that just holds water. And the way that holds water is there's rocks and clay and mud and other stuff that doesn't let the water leak out. So then it just becomes a big pool of water underground, which create an aquifer. And this is good for the soil because it's constantly getting nutrients and water flow, and the soil is staying very wet and it just produces a lot of plant life. So another problem with this land, not only were the aquifers not full of water, the land soil was being overgrazed. So the land already couldn't grow a lot of plant life like grass and such. And with previous ranchers being on the land and having cows and all that, grazing and eating all the grass, it wasn't able to keep up. So now most of the land are barren from overgrazing. And having overgrazed lands contributes to soil erosions and habitat loss. So some improvements and where the Blue Mountain Peak Ranch project has led is Mason County now contains 693 of these different plant species, which is a lot better than the 59 plant species that were there before. The parks and wildlife has increased immensely. So the deer population now has a lot more bucks in it, and which are good for hunting and actually eating for humans. Um, they've brought back more native species like the Texas horned lizard, and they've brought back songbirds, and they've dodged the the invasive species by prescribing controlled burns and um, permitting hunting. So now they research and calculate how many deer they have in the land each year, which when hunting season arrives, it shows how many deer can be killed and brought out of the park, so that the deer population is always evened out level, so that all of the deer get the proper nutrients and stuff to grow healthy and strong to survive in the environment and to provide nutrient well meat. So this park has done a lot for the environment, and it has been rewarded the 2016 Leopold Conservation Award. It also has refilled the aquifers with water, which has helped the soil get all of its nutrients for all the native plants and wildlife to come. And not only was it reducing the aquifer, it was also having the controlled burns that would burn all of the other plant life and the junipers and all of that such for the land to start new and start growing like native plants that would have been there before. So not only have they won the Leopold Conservation Award, but they've also won the Lone Star Land Steward Award in 2011. They've also partnered with Texas Tech College for their graduates to research on their land and come up with new conservation methods, or just research and publish researching they have found. So the future of Blue Mountain Peak Ranch is they want to implement a rotational grazing program, which means they're going to have a herd of cows and such to graze on the land and produce manure, which is good for the land. But they want to rotate like one or a few herds. So not all of the land is always getting grazed on, which would lead to the overgrazing, but just little patches of land where the cows can then fill the land with nutrients that they've been digesting. They also have a goal of influencing neighbor ranchers to take on their concerted conservational practices, such as making sure the aquifers are full, having calculated wildlife population, and bringing back native species and plant lives. They also want to reach more schools for educational purposes and have the students come out and actually be involved in the research. Um, so, in conclusion, the Blue Mountain Peak Ranch has overcome a lot of environmental problems. They have refilled the aquifer with water. They have brought back most of their native plant life and native species wildlife, such as the Texas horned lizard. They have come up with a lot of new conservational practices to keep the land healthy. and they are now actually a place that people can come and visit. They have recreational uses such as camping, bird watching, they have fishing, hunting, they have canoes, you can canoe in there, and it's now like a campsite that's protected for the wildlife. So there's many ways that you could even get involved. You can go to the campsite. You could, since we live in Texas, if you attended Texas Tech, you could use their land for research and join those type of programs. You could also donate to their programs. They are a part of conservational agencies. And Richard Taylor and his wife Susan Paris were actually a part of the conservational agency. Um, so in conclusion, the Blue Mountain Peak Ranch has overcome a lot of the environmental issues and has really increased the land's nutrition and growth. So on my last slide, I have a reference slide. So this is where I got all of my information from. Some of them are books, and then the peer review, and then just articles that were published. So I really hoped you enjoyed this presentation and learned a lot about the Blue Mountain Peak Ranch project. And also, I hope this has motivated you to maybe look into your life and what you can do to start being environmental friendly so we can help the population grow and the earth to become richer. And that's it.